I am Mark Twain, standing now in front of the grand library filled with the scent of aged paper. The quiet and solemn atmosphere seeps into my bones. Through the rows of bookshelves, I spot the familiar covers of my works. Those words I'd painstakingly crafted, the essence of my life's observations and musings, like old friends waiting for me here. I am Mark Twain, a chronicler of the American frontier and a satirist of society. This library, filled with volumes, is like a time capsule of my literary journey. I recall the days when I was just a young man on the Mississippi River, the steamboats trudging along the riverbanks lined with bustling towns. It was the cradle of my inspiration, where I learned about human nature, the good and the bad, the honest and the deceitful. In the era of the Gilded Age, America was experiencing rapid industrialization and economic growth. However, beneath the shiny surface, there were deep-seated social problems. The gap between the rich and the poor was widening, and corruption was rife in politics. I felt a strong urge to expose these issues through my writing. My works, such as The Adventures of Tom Sawyer and Adventures of Huckleberry Finn, were not just simple tales of boyhood adventures. They were vehicles for social commentary. In Adventures of Huckleberry Finn, I used the journey of Huck and Jim down the Mississippi River as a microcosm of American society. Jim, a runaway slave, represented the oppressed and marginalized in a society built on the foundation of slavery. Through their adventures, I explored themes of race, freedom, and morality. I wanted to challenge the prevailing racial prejudices of the time, to show that beneath the color of one's skin, there was a human being with feelings and desires. This was a form of muckraking, a term used to describe journalists and writers who expose social and political corruption. My satirical works, like The Gilded Age, A Tale of Today, were a direct critique of the era's materialism and greed. I used humor and irony to pierce through the false pretenses of the upper-class society. I believe that satire was a powerful weapon, a way to make people think and question the status quo. Now, standing here in this library, looking at my books neatly arranged on the shelves, I feel a mix of pride and sadness. Pride because my works have withstood the test of time. They have been translated into multiple languages and read by millions around the world. But sadness because I know that many of the social issues I wrote about still persist. The modern world, with its advanced technology and global connectivity, still grapples with the same problems of inequality, injustice, and corruption. My words, though they have reached far and wide, seem to have a limited impact in the face of the ever-changing and complex social landscape. As I look around at the library, the lights are starting to dim. The silence is broken only by the soft rustling of pages. It's as if history is closing its chapter for the day. My works, these literary artifacts, are here, but the spirit of the times I wrote about seems to be fading. My spirit is a bit heavy as I turn to leave this place. Behind me, my books remain, a testament to my literary legacy. But I can't help but wonder if my voice, the voice of a social critic, will ever truly be heard in a world that often seems deaf to the cries of justice. My journey as a writer was an attempt to make a difference, to leave a mark on the sands of time. And as I walk out of this library, I hope that my words will continue to inspire future generations to fight for a more just and equal world.